We've now got a scaffold put together for our form reducer. Now remember, just like the login form, this is the thing that is going to govern all the different values on our form for creating an employee. So when a user selects some input, like this name right here, and they start typing, they are going to be producing a name. Same thing for phone, and same thing for the shift. So our reducer is going to be maintaining 3 properties of state: the name, the phone, and the shift. We've already wired up an action creator to handle the employee update type, which is our idea of handling update from the user typing on the keyboard on the device. So let's put in some code to handle this employee update case. We'll say employee update. And then now here's the fun part. I had said that our actions payload, remember, let's flip back over to the employee actions file real quick. The actions payload will be an object having the key of prop and a key of value. And each of those represents like the prop name and the actual value. Remember, prop right here will be name, phone, or shift. And the value will be whatever the value of the input itself will be. So again, just to make sure it's really clear, I'm going to put in just a comment here really quickly. Action.payload is going to look something like prop name and value of Jane, or something like that. That is what the actions payload is going to look like. So we need to somehow take this name right here and reflect that on our applications on our application state, or on this reducer state is what I should say, with the value of Jane. Okay, so that's what our goal here is. So we're going to use a little bit of ES6 to just make this happen in a very nice fashion. Let's put the code down and then talk about what's going on here. Remember that because we are in a reducer, we always want to make sure that we return a new object as well. So I'm going to return from here .state, and then here's the fun part, action.payload.prop. Make sure you get those square braces on there, and then action.payload.value. I'm going to take out that comment here as well. All right, so this is a fun little bit of ES6. I want to say several times in a row, these square braces right here are not an array. It's not an array. It's not an array. It is not an array that we're creating right here. This is called key interpolation. So the key that we are adding to this object right here will be determined at runtime. If we call our action creator with a prop of name, this whole segment right here, this little chunk of code, will turn into name, like so. If we call our action creator with a prop of shift, this whole segment will turn into shift, and so on with phone number as well. So it is a nice little bit of syntax from ES6 just to avoid having to do something a little bit more painful. Basically, if we want to do this without ES6, we would end up doing that tried and true thing that looks like this, where we do declare the object and then have to say action.payload.prop equals action.payload.value, and then do the .state with a .new state as well. But this is really ugly right here, just nasty stuff. Using the key interpolation really saves us a little bit of pain. All right, let's put a semicolon on there, and I think we're in a good spot now. So we've now got an action creator and a reducer put together, so we can start to wire up inside our form. I think the last thing I want to do in this reducer is again put in some initial state here, some reasonable initial state, just to make sure that it's clear what properties this reducer is going to be maintaining. So I expect it to have a name. It's going to start off as empty string, a phone, which will be an empty string, and a shift. Cool. I think we're looking pretty good here. Before we flip on back to our form and start to wire this up, I did mention that we were going to do a little bit of refactor in our action creators file. Remember, we created our new action creator having to do with employees inside the employee actions file, but we still have a whole bunch of actions related to authentication in the index.js file. So I'd really like to just do a quick refactor here, just to make sure this is nice and clean, have separate files for each of our action creators. So let's do it really quickly. In my actions folder, I'm going to make a new file called auth actions. And then inside of here, I'm going to take everything that I've got inside the index file right now. I'm going to cut it. I'll put it into the auth actions. And now I get to treat my index file right here just as the same as we did with our common index file as well inside of our reusable components folder. So remember, in there, the idea was that we would import a file and immediately export it at the same time. So inside of my actions index.js, we'll say export star from auth actions and export star from employee actions as well. I know this was a little side topic, but I wanted to make sure we got that done before we forgot about it. So I'm going to do a little bit of file cleanup here, just because I have so many open. All right, let's take a quick break since we went a little bit out of order there to handle the auth actions. And when we come back, we'll make sure that we hook up our employee form reducer to our combine reducers call, and then hook the whole thing up to our actual form component. So I'll see you in the next section.